Yo, what's good? How's it going? Look, I'm glad you're here. My name is Albert Williams III, and welcome back to the Uncommon Legend Experience. And today we have another guest. We got my boy Merlin, and Merlin is in Louisiana, and he is dad, run influencer, fitness bro, like squatted 500 pounds like a couple of years ago, just casually, and all these different things. But Merlin, you can introduce yourself a little bit better. Tell everybody like who you are and all the things
Yeah,
about you.
for sure, for sure. So my name's Merlin Davis, 32 years old. I don't know if anybody wants to know that.
Brother Merle, Father Merle.
Black Father Merle, Brother Merle. I go by many itinerations of that name. Father Merle, for those who know I'm a dad. Brother Merle, for everybody else. I am, like Albert said, I am husband, dad, follower of Christ first.
Sir.
We do a lot of things, like he said, run club, run. I do triathlon. I do cheerleading. I bake for fun. So yeah, we do a lot of stuff. We do a lot of stuff. I just like to say I'm a doer of things. That's the best way to describe it.
Hey, and where do the doers go? Home Depot, where we get
Home
things
Depot,
done, man.
where
But yeah,
doers get things done.
doers get things done, man. But actually, Cat would argue you should go to Lowe's instead. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But glad you're here, man. I'm glad we're able to get you on the podcast and on the channel. You know, one of the things I've been doing, and I was actually telling Merlin before we like started recording, is my goal is to highlight, what people would deem as a normal person, but like, like yeah, you're a normal person, but you're like doing like extraordinary things. And so I guess to start us off, unpack, how you got to where you are in like the past, I would say, I guess about 7 years or so. So I've known Merlin since 2016, 2017. Dang, almost 10 years. And, like, hey, stop. I'm feeling old. These gray hairs, they starting to catch up to me, But in the past like 7 years or so, a lot of life has happened. You've gotten married, you have coached, a college cheer team, started a business, you've closed, like you've sold a bit, you moved on, like you've done a lot of different things. Like,
Kids, yeah.
yeah, and you're here now. So kind of, and I guess, and don't feel rushed on time. Kind of walk through these like last few years and kind of where you are today and how it got you there.
Yeah, so 7 years, what were we, 2025? What's 7 years ago? That'd be 2018.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, ironically speaking, we say 7 years. We make Me and Rachel make 7 years of being married this
Yeah.
year, and
That was
that's
the best
just
wedding. It was
yeah,
lit.
yeah, yeah, man. So I'd say going back to 2018, and that I think that's when a lot of life started happening. So I mean, I moved back home from
Mm.
Texas after cheering from Navarro. Um, to make it a very long story short on that, Rachel and I's relationship took a kind of a nosedive whenever I lived in Texas. We were, I guess, we were separated. We were doing long distance. She was in
Yeah.
Hattiesburg at USM. I was in Corsicana in Texas,
Hmm.
and so we kind of did like we were broken up, but not broken up. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We were
Yeah.
we were away from each other, and in a weird sense, she kind of gave me an ultimatum. She was like, "If you choose to stay at Navarro, I just think it would be best if we moved on from
Yeah.
each other, or like if you plan on moving home, obviously would love to continue our relationship." So we started like officially dating right after Daytona that
Wow.
year in
Wow.
2017. So we came back, and I was like, Monica was like, "Hey, so are you coming back?" And
Yeah.
as bad as I wanted to say yes, because I knew I had more in me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I ended up getting, and it was hard because like I ended up getting injured right
Hmm.
before right before Daytona. I
Yeah.
didn't I didn't get to compete on mat. You
Hmm.
know, I was center stunt,
Yeah.
and
And in
I
the
felt
cheer world, that's huge. That is huge. Like that hurts your ego, your pride, and like you as like your very essence as a person. So
yeah,
like Merlin's like I don't know, but like that's huge for you, man. Like that's a big
yeah.
deal.
So knowing all of that, and knowing I did like 4.5 months of physical therapy to try to get back, I was just like, no, like I'm not coming home. Like, so I came home, we got engaged,
Yeah.
ended up got married, and then I feel like everything was good, pretty steady, and then obviously COVID hit.
Gosh.
We both lost our jobs. I mean, skipping over 2019 because 2019 was just kind of a blur. That
Yeah.
first year of marriage was just like
Yeah.
just blew by.
Valid.
Yeah, like I to be completely honest, I don't really remember a lot of stuff from the first year of being married because I feel like we were just so busy. Like she graduated college, we got
Mm-hmm.
married, she got a
Yeah.
job straight out of college working in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I was running my cheer business at the time, skill
Right.
specialist, and I mean, we were just so busy, and
Yeah.
I genuinely do not really remember outside of pictures and stuff much of
Yeah.
the first year. 2019 rolls by, 2020 hits. We both lose our jobs in 2020. I was working at Capital One as
Capital
a
One. Yeah.
yeah, working at Capital One. It was coaching cheer, but all gyms closed down because of the COVID restrictions. I lost my job. She lost her job. We were like, what are we going to do? We kind of rolled on unemployment for a few months just to try to figure out. I ended up getting a cheer job,
Mm.
running a gym in
Yeah.
Madisonville. That for from I did that from 2020 to 2021.
Yeah.
Through that, Rachel was staying at home because
Mm-hmm.
job, and through that, we were like, let's open a business.
We got what else? We got nothing else to lose. We
Nothing
got all the game. Yeah.
nothing else to do. Opportunity just kind of fell in our lap, and that, I mean, that took forever. So we decided to open a loaded tea shop, as you know,
Yeah.
so that took a year of opening. So we signed pretty much a year to open. Like we started
Mm-hmm.
scouting locations in July of
Mm-hmm.
2020 while I was working at the cheer gym.
Yeah.
Signed the lease like October ish and started trying to do that build out. We didn't open until 2021
Mm-hmm.
July.
Yeah.
Literally took a year. We were like, I had just my job and I wasn't making much money. I think I was
Right.
making at the cheer gym as the manager. I was making like 43K a
Yeah.
year. So like, wasn't nothing crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what kind of the way it shaped out is like, since it took so long to open the business, we were paying rent on the business, but we didn't have any money
No
coming in.
money. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah. So my father-in-law, I was like, "Hey, look, would you would you loan us some money to like kind of help get through this?" And
Yeah.
praise God, he ended up, you know, loaning us some money,
Man.
and we got the business open in July. I quit the cheer job, and
Mm-hmm.
her and I were just working the shop nonstop. I think we worked just her and I like 70-hour weeks, Monday through Sunday, for like the first 6 months of the business. It was
Yeah.
great. We were making a ton of money,
Yeah.
like you know what I'm saying. But it was just super tiring. We were literally working 6 a.m. to 6.
Gassed.
Yeah, yeah, driving back from River Ridge, Harahan area, back to Slidell, waking up, doing it all over again. Had a blast. We learned a lot, but that was just super tiring to do. So I think like our first employee was Rachel's sister, Renee.
Mm-hmm.
Second employee was my brother, Jordan.
Yeah.
And there's a picture we have. It pops up on my memories every year, and it was like when you finally get a Saturday off, and
Yeah.
we had like Renee and and Jordan run it, but
Yeah.
we had the business, and then I was coaching cheer kind of on and off. Did I coach that 2021 2022 season? I don't think I did. To
I
be
don't
honest,
think you did. I can't remember.
I don't think
Cause
21 22 22 23.
yeah.
I think I did some like consulting here and there for,
Mm-hmm.
for some schools, and then 23 to 24 I coached for sure.
Yeah.
And then I took a year off because we had Emory, and
The precious baby.
yeah, we had Emory. So I took a year off because I just wanted to spend more time with the baby,
Yeah.
and now we're back coaching again. Now that my daughter is 2, so
Mm-hmm.
we're back coaching, and then unexpectedly, Rachel got pregnant again. So
Yeah.
we're expecting baby number 2 in November of this year. So that's kind of the timeline. Oh, we sold the business last July.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
sold the business last July. I started working in IT again, like a
Mm-hmm.
week or so. That's my day job. I work in IT during the day, and then we coach at night. So yeah, that's kind of the timeline. It's kind of crazy to think about. I
Man.
feel like you said, a lot has happened. Jeez,
Yeah.
that is a lot of stuff. So, but now we're here.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, it's like it's so crazy to like go through all of that. What would you say your top 3 lessons that you learned in the past 7 years that, you know, that you I guess you wish you would have known in the beginning, but like what are your top 3 that you learned over these past like 7 years?
Yeah, for sure. So I'll do it in 3 different instances. So I'll take one from my marriage first.
Yeah,
I'll,
yeah.
I'll say for my marriage, communication is key. Before I got married, and so kind of flashback to 2020. 2020 was probably one of the hardest years of my entire life, mentally speaking. I don't hide it. I struggled a lot with depression and anxiety that year. Really, really hard year for me. Like, probably some of the darkest times of my life happened in 2020. I mean, you name it, it probably happened. Like, it probably ran through my head. Like, thoughts of, like, suicidal thoughts, like, it all flashed 2020, man. Like, really, really, really rough year. And that was when I started going to therapy. And I realized that, like, my anxiety and my depression and my unwillingness to deal with those things was bleeding into my marriage. So I started going to therapy in 2020, and shout out my therapist Michelle. Um, she she helped me kind of navigate those waters alongside lots of prayer, of course.
Yeah.
But because she's her my counseling was Christian based, so we
Yeah,
did
yeah,
talk.
yeah.
We talked a lot about Jesus, and we a lot of my counseling was scripture based. Um, that that year I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot. I thought I had been through some hard stuff before, but
Hmm.
2020 really showed me what I was made of.
Yeah. I mean, dude, that year was just tough. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It really showed. Like, it really was like we're gonna see what you're made of for real. And so really tough year, and being able to communicate what I was feeling to Rachel in the beginning was very hard because I genuinely didn't know how. I didn't know how to communicate what I was feeling.
Mm.
So therapy and communication, that was one of the biggest lessons I learned in the past 7 years for that. Lesson number 2, in a nutshell, and it just kind of goes all around, is I learned that I can't trust people the way I thought I could.
Mm.
And I hope that doesn't come off like wrong or like rude to people, but I think what happened to me, um, I think it was one of those things where I had been friends with somebody for a very long time. And you kind of look at people after for a while and you're like, oh, they can do no wrong. But then I hit kind of like a point in life to where it was time to stop making excuses for people's behaviors,
Yeah.
and I had to learn to sever that tie,
Yeah.
and that helped me grow a lot too. And it's not just for people I've been friends with for a long time. It's people who it's pretty much for anybody that comes into my life.
Yeah.
So I feel as if, like, at this age, 32, I have to be so conscious of the people who enter my space,
Yeah.
because not only being the head, but the head of my household and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just like with my anxiety and my depression and my unwillingness to deal with those things, how it kind of bled, and like those friendships can bleed into the things, and like the people I bring around, like my kid, like all
Yeah.
those things matter now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't just bring anybody around my kid because,
Mm.
like, they're related to me, or because we've been friends for X amount of time. Like, I
Yeah.
have to be so conscious of who I bring around my family.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I was always kind of like a protector. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way I.
Hmm.
The people that are close to me, I'll protect them. I'll go to war for y'all. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But even now, even more, I think I think it's even more prevalent now. Like,
Yeah.
how much of a protector you have to be, and like, it's kind of like pour into the ones that pour into you type things, but like
Yeah.
I gotta be careful of what's being poured into me because I don't know I don't know where your cup's being filled. I don't know what you're trying to pour. So I think it's super important.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
don't
No,
know.
no, that's real, man. Like I don't know
Yeah.
what you got, but I know what's in
I don't know.
mine.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I don't know where your cup's being filled, but that discernment kicks in.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's never wrong.
Yeah.
N- Never wrong. And then I'll
Yeah.
say number three, probably the most important is I just got to look up more. In it, you know what I'm saying? And I say that in the sense of like I've been through some hard stuff in the past 7 8 years, lost 2 jobs,
Mm.
sold the business, and like I literally was working the IT job I got after we sold the shop. I lost it. I got let go in January, so it was like no income because we don't have the shop anymore.
Oh.
So I can and like got my wife and my kid who
Yeah.
are relying on me,
Yeah.
and thank God I can always kind of fall back on cheer to kind of make money, private
Right.
lending, but like man, it's just so taxing.
Yeah.
Uh, I I stopped asking why so much and
Mm.
just started saying yes, Lord.
Yeah.
And even if I'm saying yes, most of the time I don't even know what I'm saying yes to.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
But the the willingness to say yes has done more for me exponentially than I ever would have thought. And even if I got nothing from it, like me saying yes is what he wants. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
so the ability to say yes is definitely I've something I've learned. But that's probably the most important.
Yeah.
Even saying no, you know what I'm saying? Like, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those people that I'll do anything for anybody.
Yeah.
So the willingness to say yes and the ability to stop looking around for the answer and just looking up for the answer. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey,
And and
you're
and
telling me
saying
that's what I do every day. That's my
and saying
livelihood.
yeah, and saying no. So those are probably the most important three, I'd say.
Man. Gosh, that's so good. Yeah, man. You were talking about the protecting like your family and protecting, yourself. One, I appreciate your vulnerability and your sharing and transparency with that. Because I've been doing that for years personally. And if they watch this, yeah, I'm talking about you. But I don't care. There are very few extended family members that Kat has ever met
Yeah.
because of how they treated me as a kid, how they treated my siblings as a kid. Like my grandma's side of the family, there's one younger cousin that I talk to all the time. She basically like my little sister. Like she was actually a student at Southern Miss. So when I was the associate director at the Wesley,
Uh,
I actually recruited her like, come to the Wesley, and she was like,
yeah.
I don't know about this religion because I know how they do church back home and they fake back home. And I ain't trying to come in here and y'all fake too. I'm like, baby, I promise you, if it's
Yeah.
fake, I'm not inviting you to it because I'm not
Yeah.
there. So
Man.
like that I got that cousin and a couple other cousins that I'll like talk to on like on my mom's side of the family, for it, whether it's my grandma's side or my papa's side, because there are some good ones, but for the vast majority, Kat hadn't met them folks because I don't like them folks. I don't like how they treat people. I don't like how they talk to me as a kid. Those things like that matters, and especially with my white wife. No, we not about to do that. So
Right.
I
Right.
have to be extra careful. I don't know the full scope of everything, but I'm saying I empathize with you, like, and like, dude, you got to be so careful, because like that's your family, and that's your first ministry is to your family, and like
Exactly.
making sure that like they're loved and cared for and supported, and anybody that's gonna interrupt that, yeah, no, peace up, a town down. I don't need
Gotta
you.
go.
Yeah,
Gotta go.
yeah,
Yep. Yep. I
man.
agree.
So that's huge, man, and I just appreciate you,
Yeah.
sharing that.
Of course.
And so with that those are some real big lessons and good lessons, like they're tough to like walk through and learn, but definitely, like you definitely gained a lot with that. And you've already touched on it a little bit, and it's so funny how you know, with the exception of my friend Mary, who is on another episode, who is also a pastor like myself and gone to seminary and all the things, right? But like, other than that, all my guests have talked about God and in a deep, profound level, and I love it because it's like it's not a like I have to be like, hey, you know, talk about God, like not
Yeah,
like having to prompt them, but because you have, I can now go there. So, how has your faith informed how you take those lessons and how you like embody them now? Been transformed through all of that, and how has it helped you today?
yeah. So I think in my position, really the communication kind of helps all around, and I'll say
Mm,
that of I'm being in my position. It has nothing to do with work or really family. Like cheers a ministry for me, man.
yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's like I tell myself every year I'm gonna quit. I tell myself every year I'm done coaching. I'm done
He's
coaching.
been saying this as long as I've known him too. By
Man,
the way, I'm done.
like I've been saying I'm done coaching for the past
10 years.
yeah, man. Like it's but it's my ministry. It's I don't coach males.
Yeah. Hey.
Which I coach all girls.
Yeah.
So and it's especially important now because like I have a daughter too. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All of this will make sense once I finish. The way I speak to these girls
Huh.
goes so much further
Huh.
than just 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yep.
You know, like
100%.
it what I do and what I say
Yeah.
will either transform the way they feel about male head figures
Yeah.
in a good way or in a
Hmm.
bad way. And I always tell my kids, and like I have older kids now, like I have 10th, 11th, 12th graders.
Wow.
Like I have girls, so like they're
Yeah.
dealing with a lot of stuff too. Like they got
Yeah.
work, some of them got boyfriends and stuff, you
Hmm.
know. They're dealing with life,
Yeah.
and it's nothing. The things they've been through, you know, I've probably been through in some aspects, so I can help them navigate those
Yeah.
things. You know, I always tell them, I'm not just your cheer coach. I am your life coach before I am your cheer coach. And at the end of the day, like I love winning. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Right.
if we go to competition and win, like nobody will cheer for y'all louder than me. Just
Facts.
know that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I mean, I met this team back in April, right? We
Hmm.
had tryouts March. We had our first practice April. Like, I love these kids, man. It's so crazy to think about. And, like, I don't know, like, from my perspective, like, I grew up my entire life without my dad telling me I love you. You know what I'm saying? Without having, like, a male figure in my
Yeah.
life being like, hey, love you, man. Let me know if you need anything.
Yeah.
Until I started going to church.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
my
Yeah.
youth pastor, Pastor Sidney,
Yeah. Hmm.
who's like he's my pastor now, my
Yeah.
senior. I didn't. I was 16. I started that youth group.
Hmm.
Like male figures didn't tell me they love me,
Yeah.
you know. Like,
Yeah.
and it wasn't until I started going to church and youth group that I noticed it. You know,
Yeah.
dang, like my dad doesn't say I love you. You
Mm.
know,
Yeah.
like I wonder why. And
Mm.
like I tell my kids I love y'all
Yeah.
because I do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because you need to hear it. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm taking place of dad.
No.
I'm big brother.
Yeah.
You know, and the communication. I think this is probably, and out of the three, this is probably the biggest one. And like I see coaches like tear down their kids,
Mm.
and the year after, like those kids don't want to return.
No.
You took something they loved
Hmm.
and flipped it
Yeah.
into something they don't want to be a part of. So like when we
Right.
come to practice, like my kids know I mean business. Like I don't need to come like puff my chest out. Like my kids know what's up.
No.
And like
They know off on
yeah,
site.
yeah. In the same way I'm talking to you right now, this is the
Yeah.
same way I talk to my kids. I don't
Right.
yell. I don't belittle them.
Hmm.
Like you know, they might get some sarcasm for me, but like
Yeah.
it's all out of love. That's just who I am.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
man, like I tell them all the time, like the things that we do here go so much further than cheer. Like if you can't look back on these, you know, 1, 2, 3 years that you spend with me as your coach, and say, wow, like that was a really enjoyable time, then
Yeah.
I failed as a coach.
Yeah.
Whether you go to college and cheer, and whether you but like when that memory pops up
Yeah.
on your Instagram or your Facebook, and you see us at competition, or you see a picture of me and you in the team, you can they can either look at this and go, wow, I really enjoyed those times, or
Hmm.
man, I'm so glad we're not with Coach Merlin anymore because he was an absolutely terrible person.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so I genuinely have to catch myself sometimes, and I think all three of those lessons kind of bleed into that.
For sure.
Like, it is my ministry, so like
Yeah.
when I am frustrated, we might have a practice where they go full out, and or we were stunting and things are going the way I know they should be going. Like I
Mm.
get frustrated, but I got to take myself back and say, like, you have to give them grace because you were showed grace, and God always checks me.
Hmm.
And I'm like, let me just shut up, take a breather. Y'all get some water. I'm gonna go take a walk, get some water as well.
Yeah.
Come back. We're gonna talk about it.
Hmm.
So I think that's where it's coming the most. Outside of like my marriage and stuff like that, and like my friendships too. But I think that's where it's been the most prevalent. Like that part of the ministry in my life is, I mean, it's cheerleading, bro. Like especially
Yeah.
like when I do private lessons, like even then too,
Mm.
just that
Man.
one, and like the parents are watching.
Yeah.
Like, and I always tell the parents, like, I'm gonna be straight up with your kid, unless they're
Yeah.
like super young. I'm gonna be straight up with your kid,
Hmm.
up with you,
Yeah.
and like I don't hide anything. I don't hide my relationship with God. Like they know who I am.
Yeah.
Like I don't hide anything. So I think that's where it's been the most prevalent in my life. There.
Right. Yeah. No, that's good stuff. Yeah. No, I mean, like for me, I remember I remember coaching. So if those of you that don't know, I coached tier two and I think you had already touched on that a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Like when I coached tier, that was like the biggest thing. I'll never forget how my final year of working in Clinton, like, because I think I was there for about 2 years, and then I was there about a year and a half. But I guess like my final 6 months or so in Clinton, I realized just because these young girls have both parents in both home, that doesn't mean they're necessarily being edified and loved. Like baby girl might come in this thing with Lululemon, but that don't mean she got Lulu Jesus. And I mean, there was a time where I had an athlete, do something that was really inappropriate, and I go, we got out of the stunt. Oh, I lost you. Okay,
You good? There you go.
yeah, we I got out of the stunt, and I said, hey, this has to cease and desist right now. Like you got to fix this. I love you, but I can't do this. I was like, oh, Coach Albert, it's not that big. I was like, it's big to me. Like I know I'm 22 and you're 17, but like, hey, no, like this is a no no for me. Like and because I respect you too much and I love you too much, and what up, what up.
All right. Bye. Love you.
We appreciate the special appearance. Yeah.
You'll get to this point.
Hey, look. Oh, look at her. Oh man. We was just talking about kids earlier. Anyway,
Anyway, talk about that later.
yeah, we'll get that later. But like, like I realized like all the girls I coached, and I mean, even now my ministry is about 80-85% girls. And I ain't mad, like if I got all these girls in my like campus ministry, how many girls get to walk away from their college experience knowing who they are and whose they are in Christ, and
Yeah.
knowing that when they come in contact with a male, this is how they should treat them, like
Exactly.
this is how they should be respected and loved and whatnot. And they spend a lot of time with me and Kat because they're like always at my house, but but in the best way, like not in a crazy way. Like they're
Yeah.
they're there because we invite them over, and we try to host them because we recognize like these students, man, like these little ones, this little flock that we have, it's only for a brief amount of time, but how much life can I speak to them in this amount of time? And
Bro.
so for me being a campus minister, whether it's a semester, a year, or four, because at max I'm gonna get 4 years if
Yeah.
lucky. but if I can speak life into them for these 4 years, and arguably at the most pivotal time in their life where they're figuring out who they're gonna be, what they're gonna do with their life, potentially who they're gonna marry, like how can I take this and give them the best experience possible so that, like you said earlier, just kind of dovetailing off that, that they go, wow, I really enjoyed my experience there.
Yeah.
And and now they have these life lessons to take with them, and I think that's really awesome that you think about that actively as you're coaching these like athletes, these young girls, and that's huge because Lord knows they need all the positivity and all the good
Right.
role models and good reference points in their lives, because this world crazy, man. It's crazier than what we grew up with.
I don't even want to know what they like the stuff they deal with. I'm sure I'll see that eventually because I do have a
Yeah,
daughter.
right.
But like, man, it's so important to me that, and it has nothing to do with like me. Like, I just want
Hmm.
them to and be like, man, like, remember that one time Coach Merlin made us do 5 full outs, and I thought I couldn't push, but then we did, and like he believed in me, so like
Yeah,
I figured out I could type thing,
yeah.
and I'm like, yo, y'all can do so much, infinitely more than what you think you're capable of, and
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna push you there.
yeah,
Might not be easy, but when you look back, you can be like, and you hit a hard point in your life, and you can be like, I want you to hear me in the back of your head and be like you can do it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And know somebody, even after y'all leave me,
Hmm.
I'm still rooting for you.
Yeah.
Like
Hey.
I see kids that I've coached that are in college now, man. And I'm just like you're doing it.
Yeah.
Like you're in nursing school, or
Yeah.
you just graduated college, and
Yeah.
now you're an attorney, and I'm like
Mm.
so proud of y'all. Like it
Yeah.
just freaking feels like I literally want to cry when I see one of my kids be successful.
Oh yeah.
And as long as y'all hit the floor, have
Mm.
fun, give it your all,
Yeah.
I don't care what happens after that. Because even if we lose, we can go to Disney and have fun together.
Exactly. You left it on the mat. Like,
It's all I care about. It's
yeah.
all I care about.
Don't leave your face on the mat.
Yeah, don't do
Because,
that.
but
Don't do
for
that.
those of you that are not familiar with the cheer world, when a girl falls on her face, she has so much makeup. I will never forget.
On the mat.
I will never forget. I think it was Summit that X and I went to. It was Summit or Worlds,
Yeah,
whichever
it
one
was
we went
Summit.
to. Yeah,
It was
Summit.
Summit.
So we went to Summit, and I got to get X on here too. But Summit 2019, and we couldn't. All three of us could not all be on here at once because
Oh,
no conversation would be.
we wouldn't get anywhere.
Oh man, and I'll speak to that in a little bit. But like we we were sitting there in the stands, and we're sitting here watching this tumbling pass, and this girl tumbling, and she does her little, round off backhand spring, and she goes into another backhand spring, and we don't know what skill she was supposed to do next, but all we see is, and we were like, and then we looked, it was like, is her face still down there? Because the girls have so much makeup on that an imprint, you just see this, the eye holes, like where a nose would be, and like all that on the mat, and you're like, my gosh, like there's,
But I'm gonna say before we move off this topic, I just want to say this. That's why I also think it's when I always tell my kids trust the process, right?
mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
This is something that's been on my heart for like the past week.
Mm.
I talked briefly about it in my video that I posted on TikTok yesterday.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, I see coaches expect A, B, C, D, expect all
Mm.
this stuff, but they don't live that in some aspect in their lives.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I get up at 4 a.m., go to the gym, post God is amazing, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's because, like, I want my kids to see
Yeah.
that, like, oh, like, Coach Merlin's not just out here just telling us to come out here and bust our butts. Like, he's working too, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm up at 4 a.m. grinding because,
Yeah.
like, I have to be the example for y'all. So I'm like, how can I tell my kids trust the process and to trust me
Mm.
and to trust the things I'm saying where I'm also not living them? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can
Right.
I tell my kids, go out on the floor, have fun, do your best, trust God that whatever is supposed to happen is supposed to happen, and I'm not doing it myself.
Right.
Like, how can I tell these kids to do that? And I'm like, I saw this on a video, and one dude, he said, you got to be able to shoot and drive. And I'm like, hey, that's true. You gotta do both. You gotta be able to shoot and drive. So
That's a basketball reference for some of y'all that don't realize you can't drive into the paint and then not shoot a 3-pointer or at least a jump shot. Like
yeah,
you got to be able to do both. Like you can't be this real strong aggressive person, but then be minute every time you gotta take you gotta pull up to the 3-point line. Even Shaq shot a 3-pointer. Like come on, man.
yeah.
But
He made a few in his career.
a few, not a lot, but a few. He could not
Yeah,
make a free throw to save his life. Do not count on Shaq to make a free throw because he was like, oh, every time you would see it in his face, he was like, boop.
yeah.
Like, well, but unpack the grind a little bit. Why has that been, or why is it so necessary to, if you're going to talk about this, right? Like it's like the talk about it, be about it. Why is the grind so necessary for like you and your life? Like what you're doing with these athletes for you and your family and all the different aspects of life.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what we're here for. That's
a
what we're here for.
good one, man. That really is a good one because I deal with this daily, and that's a really good one. You hit me with that one. That's a good one because it's something I legit deal with daily. It also kind of ties back into like trusting God and trusting God's
Mm-hmm.
process. And I'm one of those people where like I'll just tell you about this. For example, Rachel wants a new house
Mm-hmm.
or a bigger house, I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath.
Yeah.
It's fine for what we have now.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have the other baby in November.
Mm-hmm.
My office is being converted into baby room. There's like changing table, crib. Like my desk
Yeah.
is here. All my bikes for my triathlon are on the wall right here in my little nook. So I got all my yeah. My office is this desk is getting ready to go.
Yeah.
This is now baby boy's room. In this economy, on my current salary, making a house happen currently is just not. It's just not going to happen anytime soon. So my daily struggle is how can I put myself in a better situation to in turn put my family in a better situation because
Yeah.
it's nothing wrong with it. Rachel stays at home, and Rachel could obviously go get a job, but that job is essentially going to pay for daycare. It's not really going to help us. And then, somebody's raising my kid at that point. I'd rather Rachel just stay home and, focus on raising Emery. So
Yeah.
it truly is a daily internal struggle of feeling as if like am what I'm doing enough? Like is what I'm doing enough to not only better myself but better my family? Because like at the end of the day, like I don't. It's not so much about me.
Mm-hmm.
It's really so much about like I'm thinking about other people before I think about myself.
Yeah.
And and it's a bad habit of mine because I tend to. It's a bad habit in the sense of like I tend to put myself on the back burner,
Yeah.
and I tend to put everybody else on the front half,
Yeah.
and so eventually I burn out on the back half,
Yeah.
and then everybody else on the front suffers.
Mm.
So it really is a daily internal struggle of like, am I doing enough to put those people around me in a better situation?
Yeah.
But I think that's genuinely where it comes from. I mean, I
Yeah.
genuinely enjoy the grind
Mm-hmm.
because I enjoy doing hard things, but at the same time, I struggle to find a balance between like when should I slow down from the grind
Mm.
and just kind of let things flow the way they need to be. Like
Yeah.
I struggle with that control aspect of
Yeah.
like instead of me just being like, all right, God, like this is what you gave me. What do you want me to do with it? I try to pull some control into my own hands and be like, what can I do to speed up said process? Like,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm back in school right now, for example.
Right.
I graduate school in March of next year. Yeah, so not much time, but like emailing my counselor, can I take two extra classes this semester to speed it up. Because once I have my bachelor's, that in turn puts me in a better position to get a better job that pays more, and I can get Rachel that new house or
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's I try to rush things and I try to
Hmm.
take the control back into my own hands
Yeah.
sometimes. And it legit is something I struggle with daily. Like, am I doing something that is going to push me closer to that goal
Mm.
today? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or should I just shut up and tell Merlin stay out of it because if I keep pushing, I'm going to mess it up.
Yeah.
Um, so I do love the grind. You know,
Yeah.
like I enjoy setting goals and I enjoy getting to those goals. I enjoy the hard part of reaching those goals
Yeah.
because I know ultimately it makes me a better person at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But that internal struggle of when to slow down and step back versus like foot on the pedal
Yeah.
is it's a daily one for me.
Man. Yeah. No, that's so real, man. Like for me, I grind in every place of life, right? Like, in seminary I've grinded, and in fitness I grind. Here in content creating, like I grind. Like I'm kind of Merlin and I are kind of on the same thing of like a video a day kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like, and I'll sit down with my camera and I'll record on my camera every single day because I'm also trying to get better at just storytelling and all the things. So like I'm doing that, and I have to be careful because that grind does affect, like, for me, my family too. Like me and Kat ended up getting, like, to not go into too much detail, but financially, I was like, man, look, I think I'm gonna have to go back to coaching cheer and to give us to alleviate some stuff. And she goes, no, we need to just cut back on things. I'm like, where do we cut back? Because everything we have is what we need. We can't cut off our cell phones. I have to have my phone on at all times, right?
yeah,
Like I can't go sell my car because I need to be able to drive. Like I can't get
right,
rid of car insurance, right? Like we can't move out of this house because this is a really good house, and like we're blessed to be in here because this is actually church parsonage that we get to be in, and like
yeah,
all these different, and I'm like, so the only other thing is I need to go work harder. I need to do more so
yeah,
we can just be comfortable. And I was like, but we are comfortable. But I was like, but I'm not comfortable. And she's like, but
exactly,
what makes you think that I'm not comfortable? That, man, when she asked me that question, like, and it wasn't so much of like I'm comfortable, we're fine, but it's like this is okay for where we are right now.
yeah,
It wasn't a thing of complacency, but rather of being realistic. And she's like, you already give how many nights a week to college students? You already give how many nights a week to your studies? She was like, I don't even see you enough for that to, like, you don't have more. You don't have more to give. I'm sorry. And, the conversation didn't really go like that. But in my head, it's like, that's what I'm hearing. She's telling me, you don't have any more to give. Stop trying to give more of what you don't have. This thing in this book I read, Emotionally Healthy Spirituality by Peace Casero, and talking about like our spiritual lives and our emotional yada yada yada. And it's a really good book. You should read. But like he talks about you cannot give what you do not possess. And that is like such a paradigm shift that I am still working through. I read the book 5 years ago and I'm still working through that.
yeah,
It's like the thing of, if I don't have money, I can't give money. Okay,
yeah,
I understand that. But if I don't have time, I can't give time. If
yeah,
I don't have emotional capacity, I can't give emotional capacity. So for me, I have been just leaning into just trusting God, and opportunities have been great and I've been super blessed. Like I've done a couple photo shoots, like I've done a lot of preaching engagements, and God provides every single time, and I go,
amen,
I'm just gonna shut up. Like you said, like I'm just gonna shut up and sit here. And like one of my biggest things is like not seeking things for the sake of money, but rather if I do seek after something, it's because I feel like it's a God ordained, God given like dream or vision of mine or opportunity. Like, man, I should really go and try to do this thing. And that's kind of where I am with like content creating. Like maybe God's putting this on my heart to like do something with this, and that's the only reason why I'm being so relentless about it. Like, but
Yeah.
not because I got to make another buck or I have to make myself look good.
Right. Right.
And I think that's a lot of times where the grind gets people in trouble when it's all about aesthetics and not about the authenticity of it.
Right. Yep. I agree. I agree. The authenticity is what I think a lot of people miss in their
Yeah.
content. People just want to see you be yourself.
Hmm.
I don't want to see you push an agenda. I just want to see Albert. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They just want to see Merlin.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna do then.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Well, to round this out, I've been getting in this practice of asking people, you got any questions, any thoughts for me, like as we kind of close this out.
Yeah. So I think let's. I would be curious to know
Mm,
because I feel like the pastor life can have its ups and downs.
yeah.
What I mean, how has you asked me how like some of those lessons have kind of transformed my life and stuff like that? How has
Mm,
just being a pastor? Because like I said, I've had those conversations with my head pastor when he was making like no money as a pastor, and
yeah.
I have friends who are pastors also outside of you, and I mean I've heard them talk about finances before.
Yeah.
Like how's that taught you to rely on God more?
Yeah. Man, that's multifaceted because unlike most pastors, anything that the ministry earns is not through what most churches deem as parishioners, right? So, or a congregation. Like college students don't give because we don't ask them to give.
Like tithes?
Yeah, tithes, like tithes and offer. We don't ask college students to give unless it's for a trip or a t-shirt. Like,
Sure,
like
sure. Yeah, yeah,
things you should pay for, right? But like, we're not asking them for a monthly or yearly tithe and offering. We're not doing that. We're what's called an extension ministry of the United Methodist Church. And so the Wesley Foundation exists as an extension of the church, but not the church. So with that, the people that you serve don't give to you because you're a service full on.
yeah,
And so because of that, we really live into the 501c3 nonprofit like sector of we're not asking the people we serve to give us money. And
yeah.
so with that, there have been a lot of things that have happened in our church and as a denomination as a whole. We've had this huge church split and I can talk about it more, on a different time, different podcast, different day. But like, you know, it it really affected us in 2022, 2023, 2024, and now in 2025. And I fundraise for a living. Like I have to fundraise. I have to ask people for money. And I have to go, this is why, because this is what we do for college students and, all these things. And so with that, that's why I said this answer is like multifaceted. So with that, I have a hard time asking for things for myself. Like as in, hey, I need this resource for me personally that will help the Wesley. You know, I can't ask for that because I'm like, man, that's taken away from the ministry. And so like one day, not today, right? But one day I'll have to ask for a raise because the cost of living, not because Albert needs to make more money, but because the cost of living, I can't afford to live,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and I dread that. I dread that day because one day I'm gonna have kids, and I can't have kid. I can't have kids on what I'm making right now. Like I could. We could work. We can make it work, but at the same rate, be it'd be a little difficult for me. That's a hard thing to sit with because I love my job and I feel very called to it, and I don't see myself doing anything else. And so it's like, well, what do we do when we get there? Is that something I really need to do? Or is that something that comes with time? Because I just don't, those are some unknowns and I have to sit with the unknown. And so where we are right now is we're in a really good place, truly. It's just, I do think about, okay, but what about 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now? Well, we're no longer in the same place because life has shifted. Kids will make things shift in a good way, but
yeah,
it's a shift no less. And so, which means my time, my energy, my capacity for doing things is going to have to shift in greater ways. And so, with that, it's the thing of I have to know my worth as Albert and what that worth means for the Wesley. And, like that is something I will advocate for, not because not because of a dollar amount, but because like I said, just kind of that worth and it being an embodied worth of understanding my sacredness in Christ. And so, it's the thing of what would you pay your senior pastor? Right? What would you pay this? Or because you have to think of a Wesley director as a senior pastor and a director of a nonprofit in one, because
Yeah.
that's what you're doing, because you're raising money, you're doing fundraisers and all the things. So you're doing both. You're giving spiritual direction and discipleship and wisdom and all these different things, but then also you're going, hey person, I need $5,000 to be able to help students do this without any out of pocket expense for them, because we got to have worship, we got to have lights, we got to have all these things, and no, the $5,000 ask is very few and far in between. But I do have to make those asks every now and again, like for our mission trip, which Merlin is, he's awesome. He was one of the people that donated towards our mission trip. I raised money personally for my mission trip. And once I reached my goal, I didn't stop raising money. I had to go help students raise money, because that's students that don't do this. That's really difficult for them to go and raise money for a mission trip for a good cause, for a good thing to do. But it's so scary to do it, because you're like, I
Right.
feel like I'm asking for a handout. But the reality is that money follows mission, not the other way around. And so we have to say, this is the mission. This is the thing that we want to do. This is our goal. And this is our objective, is to, bring Christ here where and also more specifically where Christ is already working. We're just partnering and joining in, but we
Yeah.
need your partnership to do the thing. So
Yeah.
that that's kind of the whole thing altogether. And I hope I answered your question well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's very multifaceted, because it's knowing my worth, but also knowing that like there are certain things that I have to be wise and shrewd about. Of, do I need this? Does the Wesley actually need this, or is this a want and something that can wait? And then I make those decisions and make those asks and shift accordingly to whatever that is.
Love it. Love it. That's great.
Yeah,
Great answer.
appreciate
Cool.
it.
I
Yeah,
got nothing else, dog. That's what I wanted to know.
yeah. No, and that's a valid question. I don't get that. I don't get asked that often. So you know, to be asked that, and it's like, yeah, this is it's kind of what it is, and I think it's
Yeah.
so funny, like I'll like people that have no idea what a Wesley does, with all the things we do with college students and whatnot. They're like, oh my gosh, students don't give. Yeah, that makes so much sense. So how are you living? By the will of God.
Jesus, please.
Hmm. Yeah. So
By lots of prayer.
yeah, and I mean, and we work really hard. We work
Yeah.
really hard. We try to be very responsible and to be good stewards. You know, and so it's not like it's all the time that we're making this ask kind of thing. But like when people, posture themselves to go, "Hey, what are you doing?" and they want to be asked, I need to be able to make that ask.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so that's a big thing.
You came by fire. You will go by fire.
Oh
Latum.
my gosh, everybody should watch Fire Force.
Yes, please.
Gosh, like, man, great gas. Well, man, Merlin, I appreciate you so much. We could do a whole episode of anime, and so I got to stop
Yeah. Oh
myself.
my
I got to
gosh,
stop. I
for
got to stop
sure.
myself. But man, I appreciate you so much for being on here, and just your willingness to talk about like your marriage and fatherhood and coaching and all these different things in your faith. How all of that has come together to display who Merlin is, and like all the different, and I think it's so great because like understanding that like we as humans are multifaceted. It's not just like one thing that we do. We have all these
Right.
different interests and responsibilities and things that we find great joy in. So thank you for
Yeah.
sharing with us.
Yeah, man. I
So
appreciate you having me, bro. It was an honor.
yeah, no, for sure. So with that being said, be good, y'all. Peace, love, and hair grease.